Okay, hi guys, and welcome to the show. You join me here in Manhattan. I'm going to do State of the Collection. I'm here on some business. Quick wristwatch check. I'm wearing the little Squale, the 152 still. I'm still enjoying this watch. Hopefully I'll get home in time to do State of the Collection. I apologize about the noise, very busy here in New York, but as you can see, it's funny, I see this every day outside of my window, my kitchen window. I really take it for granted. Anyway, let's switch perspectives and have a closer look at State of the Collection. Today I'm finally doing an update of my State of the Collection, and I think I might do it every 4, maybe even 3 months. I might do it quarterly, I don't know. I'm just going to do it now because there has been quite a bit of change. Now, before we get into this, you'll see there's 5 watches here. These are what I deem keepers. Every collection, you don't have to have keepers, but for me, a keeper watch is a watch that has, it's like a rank. It's earned a particular rank, can get demoted, a keeper can go, but it's usually something a little bit special. Quick mention to the watches that have gone. My Tudor Black Bay Red, the ETA with the rose. Yes, unfortunately, it has gone. As you guys know, I'm paying these huge medical bills, and I had to let 2 of my luxury pieces go to put some money in the bank. So very sad about the Tudor. I love the Black Bay, but as you can see, I have 2 of my favorite divers, the Squale 1521 here and my Rolex Submariner. And in this moment, you'll see my other divers like the SKX. It's overkill, and I found myself after the honeymoon period not really wearing it, and it's the first to go in terms of sorry, a bit of dust there, in terms of you know, when money is needed. But it did hold its value very, very well, and I'm kind of a little bitter about it because I really wanted to keep it, but I can't keep everything. The other watch which went was the Omega Speedmaster, first Omega in space. This watch is a beautiful, beautiful watch. I rate that watch hugely. It's incredibly elegant. It's very refined for a Speedmaster, almost like a dressy Speedmaster. However, I bought it from new and I was babying it. I just wasn't wearing it enough to justify keeping it. It was a sacrifice. I wanted something a little bit more wearable, and I went back to the reduced, as you'll see in a moment. I stand by everything I said, but a sacrifice had to be made, and I think these 2 luxury pieces going enabled me to buy something more affordable and yet free up some money, which is sometimes what you have to do. Another watch that sold was the Casio Skywalker. I didn't really buy that as a permanent part of my collection, just really out of curiosity to review it. I sold it to my good friend Mike, who's probably watching this. Shout out to my good friend Mike. Great watch, but you know, I've got enough Casios, as you'll see in a moment. The other watch that actually it hasn't gone, it's still here, but is the Orient Ray Raven. I'm selling that because I've just got too many divers, which you'll see in a moment. And of course, not present, the flagship of my collection definitely is my Charles Frodsham Half Hunter pocket watch in yellow gold of my grandfather's, with the lion holding the cross engraved on the back, his crest, which is also the logo of the channel, and what inspired me to start collecting watches. And it's symbolic of my family tradition, horology. It's just it's priceless to me, and real treasured family heirloom. And I'll include some pictures because it's, you know, handmade by Charles Frodsham, who was official watchmaker to the British royal family. Very prestigious watch, very special to me, and like I said, the flagship of the collection. So what have we got here? Well, these are my 5 keepers. Obviously the Charles Frodsham is a keeper. He was a London watchmaker, by the way. Obviously that's keepers, so there's, in essence, there are 6 keepers. So we'll just go through what's here at the moment. Firstly, we have my little 1930s, sorry, it's very dirty, I have been wearing it recently, 1930s inspired Tissot Janeiro limited edition with that very, very bizarre movement, as we see there. It's just stunning. I love it. These are becoming quite hard to come by now, and I love its 37, is it 37? I'm pretty sure it's 37. It's just a beautiful size for me. Manual wind, very 1930s. Actually, this came out in the 1990s, I think 1995 if I remember. Beautiful telemeter on the dial there, just tons of character, and I've matched it with this one piece from, this is from, yeah, Wrist Candy Watch Club, of course. But this is, I think it just plays with that beautifully. Sometimes I wear it on the strap, but I sold this and actually bought it back, and it's been promoted to keeper status. That's beautiful gold hands and gold print on the dial, just, and those sub-dials. So 1930s. So that's my first keeper. Second, another chronograph, and I'm starting to really get into chronographs on the mesh, is my Breitling Navitimer. As you can see, that beautiful blue compacts, that gold logo. I just love the Navitimer, I really do. The Honeymoon has not finished at all for this piece. It's the 40mm slightly smaller version, but it wears beautifully, and for me, even better on the mesh. It just stands proud, and it's a big piece, but I can pull it off. I just love the Navitimer. I've always loved it. It's been a grail. I actually sold a Datejust, my blue Datejust, to fund this. The Navitimer, it's been promoted to keeper status, and it's not going anywhere. Next watch is my Tudor Day Date, also promoted to keeper status because it's just such a great complication to have, very useful for day-to-day. Has got a chip, as you can see in the dial, sorry, in the glass there. I'm having this fixed. I'm about to send this off to Saltzman's, and I've got a replacement crystal. But that beautiful linen dial, little pop of yellow gold. It goes with literally any strap, any color. It just looks fantastic. I've put it on the new Bond NATO there. I love Tudor. I adore the brand, and you know, it didn't hurt so much letting the Black Bay go, knowing I still have a Tudor in the collection. This is my little birth year watch, 1983, very elegant, 35mm size, very useful, practical, water resistant, you know, robust, but yet has a little bit of that little pop of yellow gold, matches my signet ring. I just love it. I adore it, and I'm not going to sell this. I don't see myself selling it. Also, it stops me lusting after a Rolex Day Date, which, as you know, costs an absolute fortune. Well, not actually, you can pick one up for about 12 grand, but still, that's a lot of money for me, and I don't want, you know, I got this for an absolute steal. I'm not going to find it again, so it's going to stay. Then, of course, another heavy hitter in my collection, the Rolex Submariner. Do I even have to go into this? I never take it off the bracelet. The Oyster bracelet is my favorite bracelet, and it's got the best clasp ever made. The glide lock system, I've made a whole video just about the about the clasp. That's how good it is. I love the Submariner. Robust, keeps its value, timeless. That ceramic bezel, it has actually definitely has the best bezel action of any watch I've ever experienced. It's just perfection. This is the you know, zombie apocalypse. This is the one watch that I'd probably take away and have all bases covered. Value, robustness, practicality. You know, I time things with the bezel, date complication, which I always love. It's just a classic. I mean, guys, do I even have to go into it? I love that watch, and it's been with me on so many adventures and traveled with me all around the world. And then last of my keepers, probably the most controversial choice, and that is the Squale 1521, if this thing ever focuses. There we go. Just look at that blue. It's to die for. It's the azzurro of the Mediterranean. Instantly takes me back to Italy, and I've actually put it on the Squale NATO, the official Squale NATO, which has a really cool little signed buckle. Very, very well made. Probably the best NATO I've ever experienced. It is expensive, but that particular olive works with the blue so well. I love this watch. I wore it just the other day when I went to into the city, and it just makes me instantly happy. It's just a standard ETA, but that case, that retro case, these curves that I can't really explain it. It's like a racing car. I'm just besotted with this watch. I've never stopped loving it, especially that sunburst effect on the dial. It's just so cool. And actually, this is a rebuy as well as the Tissot. Sometimes I'm that type of person that has to bang your head against the wall before I learn, but I'm fighting myself not to buy the black dial and bezel one back as well. So the polished version, it does come in bead blasted as well, but I like a little sparkle, but you know, not too much. I just think it really pops. Guys, you know I love my Squale, and it wears very much smaller than a 42. So let's talk a little bit about my next couple of watches. Not necessarily keepers, but watches close to my heart. And we can't make this video without the Seiko Saab 033. An amazing watch, and I just love it on this crocodile emerald green. This is genuine crocodile. It's sometimes been described as the baby Grand Seiko. It does have that look. It's a beautiful size. I think I can't remember, is it a 38 or a 36? I think it's a 38, but just a beautiful watch. Dependable, very tasteful. A little bit of detail with this different layering on the case, and this movement is astonishing. I got a bit of flack when I said it was better than the ETA in the Viso date when they had the jewel, but guys, you got to remember, this movement is so solid. The second hand isn't as smooth, but the advantage is, guys, you got to remember over the higher beating ETA is that this is less friction on the movement, so this is going to last absolutely donkeys, and they're proven movements. Not only that, it's 50-hour power reserve. It's just a very impressive, reliable, robust piece, and deservedly so, it won that jewel. So that's another one. In fact, actually, let's rearrange this. Let's move that out of the way. We'll put divers over here, dress watches, and then we'll put digital watches here, so that's chronographs. So let's bring in the next piece. Another Seiko. This is the Seiko Giugiaro, the Ripley watch. It's a childhood dream come true. I nearly sold this stupidly. It's a limited edition. The price is going absolutely berserk. It's already increased by, I think, about 35% already since Christmas. Incredible bracelet. Definitely a Marmite watch. Definitely a wild card in my collection. Those salmon colored hands, salmon pink, kind of orangey hands, beautiful. They're very, very 80s. Fun, not to everybody's taste, but I love it, and it's a favorite. Right, so that goes with the chronographs. Very acquired taste, but you got to have something a little bit wacky. I'm really enjoying it. I don't see myself selling that anytime soon. It could almost get a keeper status. It's growing on me. It takes a while. It's definitely growing on me. Okay, next we have another Seiko. The Seiko SKX, the Japanese version. It's just stopped in the middle of a date and day change. Oh well. I've put it on the blue NATO. Actually, this is a 20mm. I couldn't find my 22mm one, but this is the Robert Redford All Is Lost configuration with a dark blue NATO strap. Love this diver. I've made many videos about it. It's iconic. It's respected by professional divers. It's just a 200-meter. It is ISO certified. Very reliable, very robust. I love the Pepsi configurations. This one is even darker blue than the which is it, the K version. I love that dark blue. Absolutely gorgeous. It's almost black. That very much tool diver look. It's just down to business. There's no pretense about this. Very unique. And this is another reason why it wasn't so difficult getting rid of the Black Bay, because I mean, I've got those three divers. That's my divers covered. Really is. So you can see it's starting to get organized already. And this doesn't really belong in either camps, because this is my Rolex Gmt Master 2 that I bought off Federico. I haven't actually worn it in a while. I've put it on the Coloreb beautiful Italian, this is actually an aviator strap, so it just matches it beautifully with the blue and the blue. It's a long time grail. It's, in my opinion, the ultimate GMT. Well, you could say the original GMT Master was the original GMT, but the ultimate GMT. But you know, I toyed with getting a Glycine Airman that actually predates the Rolex. I nicknamed this the Hoffman. I call it my little Hoffman because I'll never forget seeing Dustin Hoffman in Marathon Man with Laurence Olivier playing the baddie. And he had the GMT, and that's ever since I was just like, it's like that moment you first see Dr. No and you want a Submariner, you know? Yeah, I had to have one, and I don't really like having two Rolexes in the collection. I think that the most Rolexes I've ever had at one time was 3 or possibly 4. Oh, no, 3. Yeah, I had two Datejusts and what was it, GMT, I think. Not this one, the ceramic. I can't remember, but anyway, I've had so many, I forget. But yeah, I think it's, you know, it's not the ceramic version, it's the pre-ceramic, so it's different to that. You know, it's the GMT, so I'm happy it's different enough, you know. So I'll just put that one over here in its own little section of it, and I'll put it here. Now the next watch, another watch I recently picked up. This is the Omega Speedmaster. This is actually the Michael Schumacher limited edition at 6,000 pieces. And I actually was at one of the Grand Prix in 2000, so I did see Schumacher race. I was a big Schumacher fan. It's the automatic, and it's got the Dubois module on it, so that you can always tell the crown sits a little lower. I just love this size. I mean, look at it. It just fits me like a glove. And also that pop of orange and red. Come on, focus. Come on, there you go. Just gorgeous and very subtle. You can hardly see it, but let's see if you can see it. There is a pattern on the dial. There you go. Do you see that? It's got a checkered flag pattern, very subtle. I just love it. I wanted to go back to reduced, but at the same time I almost went for the Mark II, but this was far too big. And this, a little bit like the Tintin, in a way it's more kind of in keeping to the original purpose of the Speedmasters. They were designed as racing watches, let's not forget. So that's my other chronograph, which I'll put over there with my chronos. Let's just move that a little bit. Let's move these over. So what's next? Well, something completely different. And this is my Oris Big Crown Complication, the Moonphase, with day, date, and a 24 or even a second time zone with the Moonphase. Gorgeous, gorgeous piece. Very peculiar miniaturized movement there, which actually Oris did a lot of work on this, so they heavily modified it. But it's not about the movement. For me, it's all about this dial. I mean, just look at all the textures. And I really wanted the Moonphase, and I snagged this for an absolute steal. I think it was just under $1,000. Very, very cool, and that big crown. And it's not that big. It's about 38 millimeters. Fits me beautifully. That big crown, so easy to wind. It's elegant. Some people don't like the cut-off numerals. I can understand that, but it's so endearing and so classy. I'm willing to forgive it. No watch is perfect. I was lusting after actually the Zenith I reviewed just the other day, the El Primera, I forget the name, but the Chronomaster, sorry, with the Moonphase. I just don't have $4,000 right now, and this was within my budget. And actually, to be honest, I'd probably pick this one again, you know, if I had to choose. It's perfect for me, it really is. It's even a little bit smaller than the Zenith. And it's actually something I'm not going to wear that much, so automatic obviously. But oh, and I didn't mention the Giugiaro is a quartz. Sorry if I didn't mention that. So that's another one of my dress watches there. Okay, next, another dress watch. Well, is it a dress watch? It's a difficult one to pin down. This is my little 1963 Timex that was made in Scotland. Fantastic little automatic with manual wind. I paid a remarkable $30, and it still runs relatively well with that 12 and 6, a champagne gold dial. Just fun, very robust, because it has a very slow second hand, but this is an old movement. I mean, really is old. It's chrome plated, but with the stainless steel back. Tiny little 34mm, just gorgeous. One of the best pickups ever, and I love it on the NATO. It gets away with it on the NATO. Fun, cracking little watch, and I guess it's a dress watch, really. But we'll put it there. Okay, next is the Flighty, the Flightmaster, or I tend to call it the Flighty, and I've put it on this beautiful dark purple strap. I have no idea where I got it. I think it was a gift. I've had it for yonks. Great piece. Ton of functions. About to go up against the Citizen Dual aviation piece. Very Navitimer inspired, but at a 41mm size, just perfect for me. Screw down pushers, which also gives it high water resistance. And of course, it's a mecha quartz, so we got, if we just unscrew the pushers, it has this vaguely automatic kind of sweep to the chronograph. Dual time zone, alarm, very practical, and probably one of the best beta watches out there. And it even has a split time to the chronograph, as you see there. It will catch up, so very cool. Let's just reset it. There we go. And yeah, you can see there's a bit of scratch on the hard legs. $200, just unbeatable. Great watch. It's a favorite, and not too big for an aviation piece. Very busy and acquired taste, certainly. That dash of yellow is very fun, and I think plays with the purple. So those go together. Those are my two aviation watches, even though I'll put it with the chronographs. So poor little GMT is on its own there. The last watch, and we're getting into the digital stuff now. This is my little A158W. You know, a bit of fun, $15. I just reviewed it the other day. Very fun. And by the way, guys, the other affordable watches I reviewed the other day, I'm giving out as gifts to my friends. So I'm not going to keep all of them, but I'm definitely keeping that Casio. It's just so fun. Last but not least, well, we've mentioned the Mudman, which I'm wearing, but this is the Riseman, and I had it sent back from the United Kingdom. It's a barometer, altimeter. It's not a full ABC, but it's got, as you see, the barometer on the in that circle there. It's a very practical watch, and what I love about it, it's not that big for a G-Shock. I know it looks huge, but honestly, for a G-Shock, it's really not that big, and it's probably my favorite G-Shock, and I'm glad to have it back. I left it in England, and as you can see by the Mudman, it's getting very grimy, so it's nice to have something to replace it. I might actually let the Mudman go and just have one G-Shock. I don't really need two. I'll think about it. I do love my little Mudman, especially now I've upgraded it with the protector bars. Put this one over here, and probably the last watch, let's just move these a bit, is of course the iconic F91W, and quite fittingly I've put it on a NATO strap. Cracking little watch, $10. In fact, the strap costs more than the watch. Very fun, and it takes me back to childhood. It really does. When I had this in school, I thought I was the coolest kid in school. So as you can see, I do like the digital watches, and I do like NATO straps. That's probably what you've gathered from my collection. So there's my collection, including this and the Frodsham, which is not here. But yeah, it's a bit controversial getting rid of the first Omega Space and the Black Bay, but I think sacrifices had to be made. I'm very happy with the Speedmaster. I'm going to review that soon. I'm always lusting after new timepieces, but for the moment I'm very content. Just a little bit of everything. Anyway, guys, before I ramble on far too much, let's take it back to the outro. Okay guys, I'm going to leave it there. You might just be able to see right there is the Chrysler Building, my favorite Art Deco landmark here in New York. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, found it useful, and I'll definitely catch you in the next one. Okay, ciao.